We are live.
We're live?
We're live now.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Long
Tony.
time
Good
no
morning,
see.
Cindy.
All right.
No.
No,
We
but you're
just say
here.
good morning.
Cross my legs,
Okay.
Indian style.
So, welcome back to the Golden Rule. My name is Meg Le Vu.
My name is Tony Chang.
It's been a while. Feels like it's been a really, really long time. A lot has happened. Last time, Kevin was in your chair, and we talked for 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. That was crazy.
Oh, you did? You watched
Yeah.
it? That's cool. So, yeah, we basically fixed a lot of the chronic injuries in our relationship. And finally, I was able to be clear. I think that was the biggest thing because I was mad for like 3 days. Like I guess I've always been mad, but the last 3 days since the blow up, and then I was like, I'm not handling this correctly. I think I'm doing it right, but I'm not. And then fortunately, I was able to talk to my cousin, and she was just like, you just got to stand up and communicate what you really want. And like, again, she told me the same thing. And now it was even more clear to me what that actually means. To what does it mean to stand up? It doesn't mean to throw a fit and to bitch at that person and say, you don't do anything or you don't support me. It was just saying something like, this is what has happened. This is the way we've always done it. I want to change that because I don't want to quit. And how do we do that together? Like, how do we do that? Honestly, I don't know, right? So, and then we just sat down and one by one just addressed it. And then it was really, and then you could see throughout that show of 2 hours, I start to soften and I start to come back to my normal self, which was great because I was like, I don't like being here. I want to get back to where I'm supposed to be. And so, and that was really great. He had the patience, and the determination in himself to be like, okay, I'm not doing it correctly either. What am I not doing? And to face that. And what does it mean to listen? And then what does it mean to actually give a response because you heard what was said, right? So I think that was a major breakthrough for the both of us. And we've just been on not a honeymoon phase. He's like, oh, we're in the honeymoon phase yesterday. I was like, oh, does that mean it's going to end?
No.
Like jokingly, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, this is forever. And I was like, that's nice. So we're finally, I think, back to our true selves and catching each other when we find the habitual phrases or language patterns that pop out that would normally trigger or would normally miscommunicate things. We came up with a code word together. Curbs. Like curb, like it, and it's like double meaning because you like, when you curb the, like a fastball or something. So like tweak it. So I think that was really great as well. And then now I feel like we've just been back to our normal selves. It's great. And now we're just working hard to get a lot of the stuff that we need done for the merger. That's one of our biggest priorities right now. And then focusing back on becoming better teammates for Super, for you guys and for our KLV team. And what does that actually mean? And so that's what we've been doing. How about yourself?
Communication's still been great. It's funny that you say, or Kevin said, the honeymoon phase, but then that's the whole beauty of it. Like, that's true love right there. Like, you can get to that point and beyond that.
Yeah.
Like, once you start understanding each other's real needs. Because for the longest time, I think Kevin thought financial support is what you wanted or needed, right? Yeah. And then on the show, you said, I need emotional support. I was like, yeah, man.
Like, I would be like, why do I have to say it? You do have to say it. And I think that's a poisonous question that a lot of women in general, why do I have to tell you? It's like, well, because they don't know. And it's not anybody's fault except your own for not letting them know. Like, and everybody has different needs.
Yeah.
And And I think that's a really, I think, easy excuse not to take responsibility as the woman in the relationship and be like, why do I have to tell you? Uh, you know, like and it perpetuates a very toxic cycle. And there are some things like with you, you're like, she doesn't have to tell me. I just know what to do.
Over time, you know, it's like it's
over
been 10
time.
years, you know?
Yeah.
She knows. I know subconsciously. I know.
Subconsciously, you know.
But then in the past, I chose to just let her tell me because it was more comfortable for me to like just do my thing and then get to that point where she's like, "Come on, like help me," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, then I'll help you."
Right.
But that was very selfish of me.
Yeah.
And that's very. It's too late. Like, why does she have to blow up before I have to start? And it's interesting because Kevin brought up how, in order for him to grow, that he has to hit that pain level, right? Same with me. In the past, like my parents, I was doing pretty damn bad in school.
Yeah.
And like my parents would have like get to me to that point of like, oh, guilt and just pain to help me want to like change or do something. So I noticed that pattern with me and Cindy too. And I was like, I'm almost stopping that now.
Yeah.
So now that's why I'm always thinking ahead of what can I do to help? Like, what can I do to make her life easier? She's my wife, you know, like, and that's the thing that people don't get. Maybe that, oh, you're being a bitch or oh, you're whipped.
Yeah.
No, I'm not being whipped. If anything, you're being whipped if you're constantly being told what to do.
Yeah, that's a
like,
whip.
Do it instead of like, no, I'm selflessly doing it because I know it's gonna make her happy.
Right.
That's love.
Yeah.
You know,
that's it.
And over the weekend, right? One cool thing that popped into my head was, what's the difference between being selfish and self-love? So I wanted to just like talk about that with you.
What is your delineation? Because I feel like we all, as Asians, we always go like self-sacrifice, right? And then we think that's love. When we want to give to our loved ones, we don't take care of ourselves. We like, even though it hurts, I do it. Even though I don't have the money, I buy. You know what I mean? Like, so this image of like, even though you just do it like to save face. So I'm very interested in what you think. What is the difference between self-love and being selfish?
I read an article, but other than the article, like from my personal experience, like I think being selfish was like the whole task thing, right? I was selfish because I know Cindy needs help, and yet I choose to be stuck in my own world and just wait.
Like at home.
Yeah, at home.
Task at home.
Just wait, you know, and then she'll get to the point where she's frustrated, and then I have to do something about it. But then it's also like two-part selfish. One, I'm still doing my own thing, and two, I expect praise after I do what she told me to do. Where she wouldn't give it to me, and I'm like, what the fudge, you know? Like, I'm not good enough. Like, but you see, that's very selfish because it's all me, you know, and like,
what do I get?
What do I get? And it's like, I have, you know, like, I'm gonna get a little sexual here, but it's like, even she communicated with me her wants, her needs, like sexually, right? Like, but then I knew it, and yet I still chose to just masturbate and watch porn.
Yeah.
And by the time that we had free time, I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I was telling her like what she wanted to hear, like, oh, don't worry, I can do it again.
Yeah.
You know? But I was just hiding these things.
I see.
And it's like, I didn't even wait for her. I didn't even put her in my mind. Like, we're married. Like, I'm single. Yeah, I can freaking watch porn and jack up, whatever, right? But I'm married. And it's like, why not? That's the blessing, right? That's one of the beauties of marriage is like unconditional love and, you know, making love.
Right.
But again, I was taking from her. And I think that's what the difference is between being selfish and self-love. Being selfish, you just keep taking because it's never good enough for you.
Yes.
And it shows.
Yeah.
But self-love, which I've been doing way more, a lot better now, right?
Right.
I fill myself up to the point where I don't need praise. I don't need anything back. I just do it because I'm so full of my own love. Like, I just love myself and I just give.
How did you make that transition?
My mind.
Is there something that you told yourself or like it just clicked for you one time and then you just recognize it again and then it clicks another time and then it gets easier and easier where it's like unconscious?
I think it's still conscious. Like I still have to make that decision to tell myself. So I've been telling myself more every day in every way. I'm getting better and better and better at being a man who loves himself, and like, you know, a lot more self-love talk, like self-love affirmations. And it's been working. You know, every day's been getting better. I thought it was going to be a phase.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not a phase. That's what I love about this.
Very cool.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
what do you think?
I'm trying to like create an answer that's going to like be concise. But for me, I feel like sometimes I still struggle with what is to love the self and what does that manifest in versus like other than just telling yourself like you're worth it. I think a lot of these things were coming to light over the weekend, and that I saw in Kevin too, where we were talking about pricing. And he's been going on a little roller coaster of emotions because now we're suddenly charging what people would say very expensive or very premium. And it's easy for me on the outside to be like, of course you're worth that. And that's not just me being like a good wife. It's like, I know what goes into our product. I know what he does in the back end. I know what everybody doesn't see, and that he does begrudgingly, but he cannot help to do it because it's him, right? It's a representation of him. All these little things that he does. And for him to struggle with, you know, if I'm going to charge 8 or 12, what does that look like? You know, what does that feel like? Does it feel any different from now? And we were driving to my parents' house and then back. And then he's like, okay. And it was great because he called himself out. He's like, so my fear's coming back again, saying the words. So my fear's coming back again. And then he would explain how he would feel about a certain thing, about the pricing or how it's going to look like or what the structure is. And like, to me on the outside, I'm like, honestly, it can look like whatever you want. Yeah. This number can be whatever you want. But we didn't really come to this revelation until the drive back home. And I said, you know what, like it's the worth, the self-worth that you feel. Like that number could be anything. I remember you felt this way when you want to charge $3,000, and that's like the bottom of the barrel now, right? At your level. Yeah. And like $3,000 is still a lot of money for sure, but it's all dependent upon where you see yourself. And I think that was a great kind of like line to draw, where it's like self-love is not about the number. Like you could really put anything. You could put 20K. You could put 50K. 100K. Yeah. Whatever you want, right? Yeah. Like as long as you feel that you're worth it, and the services that you are providing, honestly, like it's still what we are providing right now, these prospective prices and stuff like that. I think it's more than worth it, because it's not just the one time that you're giving this service. It's actually all the years that you've taken to get to this point. Just like a doctor, right? There, you're not being like treated by somebody on that one day they got a degree and somebody called them a doctor. It is like from the very moment they decided to be a doctor and do no harm, right? And then forever they've just been working and working and working so that one day they could prescribe you something
that's gonna save you,
that's gonna save your life, maybe, right? So I kind of think about it the same way. It's like, dude, it's everything, every little thing that you're doing, even when you're working out and taking care of yourself. That's so that you can do the work, this very physical work of shooting somebody's wedding, or all the experiences that you've had with people, so that this one day you won't blow up at a client. You'll calmly say, that's all right. No, or that's all right. We got you, or whatever it is, right? So it's like every single thing culminating into this one moment, and like these interactions in this service with you. And then when you start to think of it like that, I was like, oh, shoot. 12K is actually a deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that line of like, I think that's what it means to love yourself, where because you are taking care of yourself and giving of yourself the most that you can in this moment, and doing it not from a place of shallowness, like a money or a number or likes, or some outside metric, but because from inside you're like, this is the value that I want to set forth into the world, and I'm good with it. Like, you're at peace with it. And it's given me a lot to think about too, in terms of like how I would undervalue myself in so many ways other than price, because you think it's gonna make people like you, or like when you would, like when I would do things for free for people, and finally now it's like, no, I'm beginning to see the value that I bring, and saying to myself, it's not conceited and arrogant to say that. I think, like when I was growing up, it was so bad to brag, right? And learning the difference between bragging and
who told you it was bad? Like,
parents, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So, of course, I was probably rightfully bragging, but then because you get burned with the idea of bragging and you don't learn the difference between bragging and confidence and humility, like again, like when you're an Asian kid growing up, the only lessons that you learn are the painful ones.
And you just let believe it.
And then you believe only the negative sides of things. Like, okay, there's bragging. Okay, there is arrogance, yes. But there's also confidence that comes from humility and value and that sort of thing. So there's a difference, but not learning it. And then you only know the negative part of what it means to like toot your own horn and stuff. And then you begin to think, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Every time you want to speak up and bring attention to yourself and say that you're worth more than this person's charging, and you begin to compare yourself to other people. Oh, what are they charging? Like, who cares what they're charging, dude? What do you want to charge? What's the number that you want to make? And then does it make sense with your skills, right? With your skill set. So I just learned that, I think, from a young age, and I think we all do in the Asian upbringing, is just like, you know, that, like, don't brag, don't be loud.
That's what you're told.
That's what you're told, yeah. And that's great. That's a good lesson. Like, don't be loud, over obnoxious, and fake. You know, don't floss like you don't need to. At the same time, it's like, well, what's the difference? How should I be proud of, not proud, but like confident in me? How should I love me and bring that to the world? So again, like, and we can't blame our parents. Like, they don't have the language. Nobody taught them to do it. So they have the same, parents. Yeah, they have the same thought pattern. So it's like, where are we going to learn it? Okay, 35 years later, where maybe you have the opportunity to grow in that way. That's great. But yeah, I think we're just, deficient in that area of where is the line? And a lot of times people think too, when you're taking care of yourself, that means buying stuff for yourself.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like spending on yourself.
Like, from what we've learned with our marriage, with our own selves, your self-value, your self-worth, your self-happiness, even self-love, it doesn't come from outside things. We've been told that maybe by seeing our parents, they're thinking, oh, I get to wear Gucci or something high brand so I can treat other people a different way. Or you feel a certain way. But how often does that last? You need the next bag. You need the next thing.
It's like a shot or something.
You feel like that, right?
Yes.
So I just want to reinstate the fact that these companies that are paying billions of dollars in ads is to get control of your mind and tell you that your self-worth is based off these things.
Yes.
But we're saying, no, your self-worth comes from yourself. Self-love comes from yourself. What do you tell yourself on a daily basis? Really, a lot of people don't take the time to just sit by themselves and just really observe, like, what are you telling yourself? So I think that's why this whole affirmation that I've been doing since 2 years ago, even before that, I wasn't doing it.
Right.
And I was living a life based off what my parents have told me about me and my mistakes.
Yeah.
I was living my life based off my past. And then I was like fighting it so hard. It felt like I was just possessed by a demon because it was so negative.
Yeah.
So obviously my life's going to become that way.
Right.
But 2 years later, after doing these affirmations, really telling myself, for myself, that nah, every day in every way, I am getting better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually finally feeding my own self with good stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's where, I think the answer to the question is no, I don't believe that materialistic things, no matter how much value you think it is never going to fill yourself.
Yeah.
You are responsible for yourself to fill it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Like,
and it's free.
It's free. It's free. You
free.
have the power.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy, Meg? You know this whole movie stuff of like, oh, you can create your own destiny, or some people go, no, you can't. Your life is predestined.
Mm.
It is. You can choose your life to just be predestined.
Yeah.
And that predestined stuff is basically living the same life as your parents.
Yeah.
Because when we grow up, they're the ones that pretty much raise us.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much they're our role models, they're our examples. So how can we as Asians, or how can we as children challenge them?
Mm-hmm.
They're our superiors. They're always right.
Right.
No, they're not always right.
That's crazy. Okay, so you guys are new parents. How is that influencing your parental side of you?
Yeah. That whole limiting belief is kind of like, look, like she was learning to walk, right? What do so many parents often do when their child falls?
Catch
them, or like, oh, they fell and they're crying. Oh, don't do it again.
Yeah.
That fear, right?
Yeah.
No, Cindy and I were pretty chill. We're like, oh, you fell, get back up, like you can do it.
Yeah.
And now she's just walking, running.
Yeah.
And now she's coming downstairs, going upstairs. It's like
by herself.
And we're there to supervise, but
I'm gonna see you when you get down here.
It's like that belief, like even when she grows up, and let's say she gets bad grades, we're gonna dissect it. I'm not gonna tell her, oh, you did bad, or you're not good enough. Like, why? What happened?
Yeah.
Let's go over it together.
Yeah.
And so, and another thing is like just seeing my parents and how they raised me and what they've been feeding me my whole damn life.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm responsible for my life. Cindy's responsible for hers. Sophie is responsible for hers. Everybody in this freaking world is responsible for their own life. Who else is? And that's where I think being selfish comes in, because being selfish, you're always gonna want, take from people. So let's say, Meg, oh, I do something for you, but I don't get the response I want, and then I get all pissy and mad. But you don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And another thing, if I really do want to do it for you and be selfless and all that, why should I expect a thank you from you?
You just do it and let go.
I just do it because I just want to do it.
Yeah.
Not do it because she didn't say thank you. You know, like what the fudge? You know? But that whole self-love is like, nah, Meg, like take it.
Yeah.
Take from me. It's fine. I have enough to give.
Right.
More than enough to give.
Right.
So
more than enough, yeah.
But our parents, man, like they grew up so freaking like that. It's like guilt tripping,
Yeah.
Like guilt tripping, like, oh, I raised you, or oh, I did this for you, so I expect your obedience for life, until I die. And I'm like, no, dude. Like, mom, dad, like you're responsible for your life. And again, my background is that they have a jewelry business, 4 stores, right? Most of the people in that mall, the mother and the son is working together. And they're like 35 and shit,
Interesting.
So they're, in a way, I see them as like, look, they gave up on their own shit, and now they're just being controlled by
Why the mother and the son?
Honestly, I think the mom has a lot of control over their children.
Yeah.
Like, my dad was always like at work.
Yeah.
My mom was too.
Yeah.
She brought up a lot of fear, saying stuff like, you can't make it on your own. You can't make it out there. This is the only thing that makes all this money. Look at all this money. And it's so hard to save money. And I'm like, I believed it for so long.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then like recently I was just like, no, it's not true. Right. I see your life. I see Kevin's life. I see other people's lives. They're living out their passion. They're truly happy. Even if they don't make as much as she does or my parents do, so what? The fact of the matter is they're happy. They're in control of their life. They ain't letting their mama tell them what to do or how to live.
Right.
No. So like where I'm going with this is I said no. I said no to my parents.
Yeah.
Like give me that 3 years or even less.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm free from your fake environment. I'm free from your lies that you've been telling me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just responsible for my own life and my own family. That's it.
Do you believe their lies, or do you believe that's their truth?
That's their truth. But it's a lie to me because it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like there are more than enough people in this world that are making it on their own, making more money than my parents, and have more time to spend with their family or whatever they want to do.
I see. Do you still have a good relationship with your parents?
Yeah. I think it's a stronger one.
Stronger? Okay.
Because like now my mom doesn't call me every freaking day. You know,
yeah,
like,
she used to call you a lot.
A lot. And I'm just like, I'm good.
In the short time that we knew you.
Yeah. And like every freaking day, I'm like, oh man, like chill. You know, like I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I noticed that, I don't know, I want to talk about your parents in your life.
Sure, sure.
Like, what are some of the, not lies, but what are some of the things that they've told you and how you grew up?
A big one is the, there was this thing where I would go, when I was very young, maybe in grade school, I said, oh, we're rich or something like this. And then my mom would say, we're not rich. Don't say that. Yeah. We're not rich.
My mom says that too.
Right? Okay. Yeah. And I said, oh, okay. And then I learned that from certain words, I don't remember exactly, but is to be rich is to be like bad. Like I associated rich with bad. Like if you have a lot of money, then it's bad for some reason. I don't understand why. But I never asked the question, and I never was explained why you think that way. And then a couple of, like, when I start to get a little bit older and I start to want like brand name things like Vans or like Airwalk and stuff, like the answer is no. No. And that was because later that I learned was that my mom had like some like she's very frugal. She was super frugal. And for some reason, like, she learned her own lesson not to spend frivolously. And so she would, like, we never go out, and if we do go out, it was very special. And which is fine because, like, my mom's a great cook. But you never get anything like too much extra. It's not like we didn't have like Christmas gifts or even Easter gifts and stuff like that. So we still got gifts. We still got gifts on the occasions and stuff like that. But the attitude that was in the house was that rich was bad, and that you don't ask for much. You don't ask for anything extra. And I think that was just to make sure that I wasn't going to be a spoiled child. And but when I see other people getting new things, you know, you go to school and I'm like, I don't have that. You know what I mean? You start to compare. Yeah. And I remember the first thing that my mom bought me was like that I felt was extra. You know, that was like, oh, cool. Like, I got to ask for something. And then she said yes, were these Vans, all white leather shoes from the mall. Like, never really get stuff from the mall, right? And they had like a little dragon on it or something. I just thought it was the dopest thing ever. But I knew that was like something super special.
Okay.
And then later on, as I got older, I didn't learn really how to manage money. I remember when I turned 18, my mom was like, get a credit card, take care of your credit. You have these bonds in your bank account, and I've been saving these since you were a baby, right? And that's yours. You can take it now. Like, she tried to really instill in me some like adulthood, some responsibilities, and this is how you balance a checkbook, right? And I was like, cool. I feel like I'm gaining some freedom. And I remember that first credit card that I got. And then I met somebody. I met somebody who, like, I thought the world of. I was very young. And when we began that relationship, slowly but surely, like, that was a relationship in sin anyway. But, like, slowly but surely began to take so much from me, and even my money and my credit. Yeah, so this spurned when I was like in when I was like in junior college, he began to just buy things off my credit with my agreement, because I'm like, oh, it's for, you know, the person that I'm with. And then I didn't tell anybody about it. Oh. There you go. Cool. I didn't tell anybody about it. Yeah. And I kind of kept it to myself, and it was a secret for the longest time. I don't know if they knew at the time.
Check.
Yeah. Check. You got your green box?
Check. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, go on.
And then I feel like they knew, but maybe they didn't. But anyway, so it went on, and slowly but surely, long story short, is I was 20 grand in debt.
His debt,
basically, that I allowed. Yeah, I allowed it to happen, right? And and then our relationship had ended, and then about a year later, I met Kevin. And then the first thing he told me, though, about money, because I was already in a bad relationship with money. First, I think being rich is bad.
Having money is
bad. Like, but then I was like really like having a weird relationship, like, ooh, credit, spend, and then don't just, you know, don't even think about it or something, or I don't know. I didn't really know how I thought about it. Wasn't smart, whatever it was. And then when I met Kevin, the collectors are already calling me. And I think at some point I did tell my mom, and then my dad as well too. And then I told Kevin, because American Express is calling, the collectors are calling me, and we live there in the Yoruba house, and I'm super crying because I really don't know what to do. Like, I'm like 22 years old or something. And then from there, I remember Kevin telling me, like, making money is easy. And I just remember it. And then the reaction I get is like, my ego hurts. Like, no, it's not. You have to work hard. Like, no, it's not. Like, I always see everybody working hard, and like, it's not easy. Like, don't even say it's easy, because like, I've been having the hardest time. Like, I was hurting when you told me that. At the same time, I'm like, what do you mean? But what do you mean it's easy? Like, how do you do it? You know what I mean? And slowly he would start to show me, like, and this is when he was barely getting into shooting things. And that's when he would work all day on something and charge like $1,000, but thinking it's a lot, right? Because we're super young. And then finally, during that time, we're like 2 years into our relationship, I file a bankruptcy. I file a bankruptcy Chapter 7 to clear my debt of this person, and just like clear, because I actually tried to approach this person and be like, dude, you freaking owe me money. Like, you know, trying to blame. Yeah. But then when I thought about it for a minute, I was like, actually, this is my fault. I need to pay for it. And this is my penance. I thought of it as my penance. Like, it's my payback to myself. And like, I just have to do it. But then after a year of trying to pay this debt off, I was like, I can't do it. I was working like 3 jobs and like stuff like that. And I was like, I can't do this. I need to be free and clear of this person, this debt, and just start a new life. I don't care if there's a bankruptcy record on my thing. I'm not trying to buy anything right now. I just want to get my life on track.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
then so I filed, took care of that, and then told Kevin too. I was like, so this is what's going to happen and everything. And I think that's when a lot of distrust started to happen between us.
And who?
With me and Kevin. Okay. It's like, he doesn't want to show me anything having to do with money. That's probably where it started, because it's like, dude, if you can't handle your shit, it's like, why should I share this with you? He's already had that experience with his mom. So it's like, oh, okay. And I would always be very frugal. Like, to me, like, I can spend on shit that I want to spend on, but nothing. Anything extravagant would come from Kevin. And so now I'm actually free and clear of that bankruptcy. It's been over 7 years.
Nice.
Credit score is 703 or whatever now. So that's great. Older and wiser. But like, now I have a lot better relationship with money. Like, when you asked me, how do you feel about money? Point blank, the first meeting that we had, right? I was like, it's a tool. It's a tool now. Yeah. But I had such a a skewed relationship with money. And throughout our relationship, it's been weird. It's weird control and how it kind of poisons things sometimes if you let it. If you let it, it can poison your relationship. And so now we're super open about our finances. There's nothing to feel guilty about. Used to feel guilty if we went shopping and he bought it and I didn't, and I'm like, I'm supposed to pay for the groceries. It's like, who the fuck cares? Like, it's for you, both of you. Like, but I'm sure both of us felt like that. Are you gonna pay? Am I gonna pay? Are you gonna pay? Are you gonna pay? And like, think that all the way up until the register. That's stupid. We should be thinking about, how are we gonna grow? How am I gonna love this person? Not, am I gonna pay? Are you gonna pay? Like, stupid shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now we're in a better spot. But that was my relationship with money. That's basically the gist.
But then, like, is this your view of money because of yourself, or is it because you said money, you believed money is bad. Yeah. Being rich is bad. Yeah. That's why you have to be frugal. But that came from your parents. Yeah. You believed it. Yeah. Now you're saying money is a tool. Money is a tool. Yeah. Where did that belief come from?
From Kevin.
But what is your belief? Your personal belief?
I believe that it shouldn't be spent frivolously. I think if you can still, I feel like you still should have like an overall, I guess, caring or sensitivity about the money you make. So even if we were switched and I made more money than Kevin, I feel like I would still want to just take care.
Take care of the money.
Take care. Yeah. Like, take care of it. Treat it with respect. Like, it's not to be super frugal, don't live. Because we know that we work hard for what we do to maintain this life that I think is motherfucking luxury. Okay. I think it's a damn luxury. And then every time he would be like, I want to move to Pasadena or somewhere like Irvine, right? Irvine is like, whoa, the king. Mecca. Yeah, the Mecca. And we're like, I mean, it's cool, but like, I think this is great. It's good enough. Like, I find contentment here and contentment in the money that we spend in this life that we have. So I would still think like, respect it, don't be frivolous, but don't starve. Like, go out, eat, enjoy, spend on experiences. Where I think for example, my mom is very still very like, rich is bad. Like, sometimes she will say things that like signal to me, oh cool, you're not really focused on the money, you're focused on the value. Like, for example, my dad, he went to the Philippines, right? He bought this deer pill placenta looking thing, $300 for some pills. For some pills. And I was like, all right, does it work? I mean, I don't know, like, because he just started taking. So he bought it and he said, Mom, I thought, because my mom and dad call each other mom and dad, right? So it's like, my dad will say, Mom, I want you to sleep well. Maybe this will help you. This thing's got freaking all the shit in it. Like, it's got some shark fins. It's got some deer placentas. It's got all kinds of crazy ass shit, right? And it's this very fancy bottle, these fancy pills. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then, but her reaction was like, I don't need that $300 thing. I don't need that $300. I would not spend $300.
So she's pushing it away.
And I just thought it was interesting. I don't know if I'm right or wrong or whatever this is. Like, that's not my place to be like, tell my mom and dad, you're wrong or I'm right. And that's not my place.
But what do you believe?
I just believe, like, I just see the sentiment behind it. Your husband bought you a $300 pills. Like, that may be like kind of ridiculous. I think it's kind of funny, but the sentiment is he wants to help you sleep.
Money is not an issue.
And money, he didn't think about the money. And like, he knows he can earn more. You can earn more money.
Okay, this is really freaking interesting.
And I thought it was interesting too. And I said, Mom, it's okay. Like, go freaking take it. Maybe it's going to work. Who knows, right? Like, the fact that he was thinking of you, I just like that. I want my parents to be romantic and silly and ridiculous sometimes. I spent this $300 on you because I'm thinking of you. And I just think that was like it's like a Kevin move. I'm going to buy this $600 thing, like, so you don't have to hurt. Okay, awesome. That's great. I love that. I would love to see that in my parents, you know, and then you would just receive it and say, thank you. This sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to give it a try. You can still think it's ridiculous, but appreciate the sentiment behind it. I think that would have made me feel very nice. Like, just like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. Like, the number is nothing. You know, if it was like $1,000, maybe somebody be, you know, raising some eyebrows, but I trust you're not going to spend $1,000. But, you know, $300, that's still a lot of money. But I guess at the same time, it's like, it's okay. You're okay. It's not like you're suffering that I know of, you know, it's not that I know of. I don't know. But like, it looks like you're okay.
So your dad isn't like that? Like the frugal?
No, not really. I mean, no, he's smart. I mean, he'll want to shop about certain things and be like, he always switches his insurance plans whenever he can to save money. Like, I feel like he's balanced. Sometimes he can be like, oh, I want to buy this crazy thing because I just want to. Because I want to, you know, like, like cameras and stuff. Enjoy. Yeah, enjoy. You know, enjoy. You have them. If you have the money, like, enjoy, you know.
Question.
Yeah.
Did he instill any of his values about money into your life?
Not really. I don't know. Let me think. Let me try to be. What I saw from my dad concerning money was that if you earned it, you can buy it, which is not necessarily healthy. Because I think a lot of men in general think that way. If I made the money, I'm gonna buy it. And I remember when he bought a Mini Cooper. Oh. And like, he was having, I think was what you like technically call like a midlife crisis or something. And he didn't consult his wife, you know. And it was like a impulse buy or something like that. That car was later like sold or returned or whatever. It had a lot of problems. Like, there was no research done on it, I think, something like that. And that to me looked like a selfish buy. Whereas, and then I feel like what he buys on now is like, sometimes it goes back and forth between that. But again, it's not for me to judge his spending.
No.
You know, it's just like, that's just what I'm seeing on the outside. And then I try to learn as much as I can, keep my mouth shut for one, concerning my parents, learn what I can. And then in my relationship, see where if I don't like something like that, I observe a same pattern like in my husband, then say something and stand up. And that's it. And no need to attack. Just be like, I see where maybe this is coming from because even my father does it. And then be like, okay, that's interesting. If my husband's doing it, there's something about me as being a wife. Maybe I'm not saying something. I'm not communicating something where if I feel a certain way about it. But for the most part, he's like, Kevin always discussed with me for the most part, like, you know, we don't really have an issue there, especially huge, big purchases like a car. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what I learned from my dad. Like, sometimes it can be imbalanced, in my own humble opinion.
In your life, for you.
For me, it can maybe be imbalanced. But that's life. It's like, it's not always going to be every single purchase was thought out. You know, every single purchase is fair. That just happens. But it's interesting to see patterns and then go like, you see the data and you're like, okay, and then how can you, based on this data that you've collected, how are you gonna make your life better?
Question.
Yeah.
So when you were in bankruptcy and you allowed the ex-boyfriend, right, to use your credit and stuff like that, what were you telling yourself about money? What was your self-worth when it came to money? 0. It's just like, to me it felt like at that time, if I can think back, I'm such a different person. Okay. If I can do this for this person,
that means I'm being helpful. That means I'm being a good girlfriend. That means like I'm helping. That's it. And then like I didn't know the repercussion of that. What if this person doesn't pay you back? What if this person doesn't actually love you? What if they are actually using you? Like I didn't even think about, like I was just so naive, you know, like I've never really been in a long-term relationship. I've never been in a relationship where I've loved somebody in that way, where it was just like, notice me, like just being so overly giving and not realizing that it should be mutual. Like I didn't know what love was back in the day. So it's like, okay, well, my relationship was just like, well, I have it, you can have it too. Like totally blind, like just totally naive. I think that's the best word. I used that word a lot when I was getting out of the bank, or I was like in bankruptcy. I was naive.
But then that was the first time you were in control of your money.
Yeah.
Right? And then that happened. So let's, like after that happened, you're in bankruptcy. What did you believe about yourself with money?
Oh, like kind of worthless.
What do you mean?
Like I can't be trusted.
You yourself cannot be trusted.
Cannot be trusted. I would say that to myself because it's like I wouldn't buy shit. Yeah. All my money goes to these bills that are not mine. I work, and then I was thinking, this is my punishment to not have anything nice, or I don't deserve it. I don't deserve all that stuff. Like, and I would just, it was very self-deprecating at that time. And like, for me, like I would just go through moments where, I think I wrote about it too. I started to write about it, like journal it and stuff like that. And then, but just, I didn't believe in me.
To even have a penny.
Yeah. Like, it's like, if I have it, and then if I did have money, I would spend it right away.
Wait, spend it
on
where?
Spend it on like food. Or like dumb things like I bought this super expensive juicer.
Did you need it or did you want it?
I wanted it. I wanted it. Right? I wanted it.
But the fact of the matter is you had money.
I didn't know how to hold on to it too. No savings.
And again, that is a huge freaking traumatic event for a 20-year-old.
Yeah, I learned.
For anyone.
I grew up real quick.
You know? But then like, I want to get to the root of it. I want to help you. Get out of that mentality that you are not worth, or you're not worth having money for yourself. Like, that self-value, that self-worth. Our goal is for you to be like, no, I deserve money.
Yes.
I can handle money. At the time, I couldn't handle it. But that was at the time.
Right.
But now you're a different woman, different mindset, different everything.
Yeah.
So, do you still find yourself doing that? Letting go of money as soon as you have it?
No. Not so much. Yes, but not so much as before. I catch myself now. Like, and that's why I ask you the question, what's the difference between self-love and being selfish?
Yes.
The latest purchase that I bought, that was just like, for me, that was like super impulse, and I was like, I deserve it, was my Reebok shoes, this shirt, and a hat.
Yeah.
And I would cap myself and be like, okay, you need to only spend like $100, and it was like 108. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I give myself limit.
Yeah.
And I would always spend on myself under 100 if it's a personal, like a clothes or something. Like, it's not something that both of us can use, or it's not related to business or food. So I would just spend under 100 and giving myself a limitation, and then thinking, okay, I'm okay. Like it, but I sense the energy that you're giving me, which is like, I impose upon myself this limitation where I'm not truly free.
You need to say it, Meg, not me. You need to say it.
So,
you know what I mean?
I recognize it, and that's why I'm like, I don't really know what to do with that right now. And then that was the last time that I spend I think, on me.
Yeah.
You know, and then like just put it out of my mind and deal with it later. Yeah. I don't really know what to do with those thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, so again, like thoughts, right? Mm-hmm. This same thought ever since that time has been replaying in your mind, whether subconsciously, because obviously you're not aware of it, right? Mm-hmm. Daily. Anytime you get money, it's just, yeah. You don't even know why you react that way.
Yeah.
It's because of that experience, you know? And that's what you chose to believe in yourself because that happened to you, or you let that happen to you.
Yeah.
But do you see, what have you been feeding yourself about your self-worth and money ever since then?
Yeah, ever since. I think it's changing because I just booked a wedding for my team last night. Wow. And it was like $1,000 deposit, right? Or something like that. And I was like, cool, and I thought to myself for a second, I thought, this is the largest deposit that I've gotten on the day talking to somebody where I could confidently sell and ask. That was the first time that happened to me. Usually it's like, I actually put off that interaction. This is interesting. I actually put off that interaction for like, I'm like, oh, go read the contract. You know, I don't need your money right now. I would like put it off and just trust and I'm like, why do I do that shit? Ask for the money.
Yeah.
You know, close. Always be closing, right? Yeah. Always be closing. And sometimes I would catch myself doing that. I've done that maybe 3 times in a meeting where I'm like, I could have collected money right there. Mm-hmm. Why did I? And they're willing. It's not like I'm forcing and choking the shit out of them. Like, give me my money. They were like, you want it? And then for some reason I was like, nope. That's okay. You know, go read the contract, and you know, you can send me through whatever. And like, why did I do that? I just thought it was interesting. And then today I just went last night I just went for, I was like, you know, so it's 20% to do. I was just doing my thing. And I think it's because I'm having these conversations with Kevin about self-worth and self-love. Yeah. And I'm like, in the same way that he will sometimes double think his own worth and like, oh, am I worth 8,000 or what, you know, whatever the number is. And then I would think like, when I was in the same situation, because I can be on the outside and tell you, yeah, you're 8K, you're 12K. But then when you're in it, you're in the hot seat, right? Like, what are you going to do? What are the words that come out of your mouth? And I was like, ooh. And then I recognized it last night and I was like, I just did my thing. I asked for the money. He was like, cool, check. Oh, actually, we also need this one. Oh, okay, check. 2 checks. Like, I was like, cool. And then right now, I didn't go to deposit it right away. I'm like, which accountant am I going to put it in? Like a different change where versus before, I'm just like, I gotta deposit it right away.
Where would you deposit it into?
In my account, like the account that I'm going to close. Okay. Because Bell's is closing. And I'm like, do I put it in my joint or do I put it in our business? So I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to chill on it. But I'm not even worried either. I'm like, I got it. It's right there. But whereas before, I'd be like, I feel like I'd be so adamant about getting that thing in, seeing the number, and then feeling a sense of relief once I see a number. But now I feel like there's a more trust where I'm just like, it's there. It's there. Like, I don't have to look at the number. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know what our finances are now. I feel completely supported by my husband financially, where I don't feel like a renter in my own house. You know what I mean? So now I feel like there's just a lot more trust and support, and there's a lot more calm in my mind. But I just thought that was interesting when you brought that up, because the last self-purchase that I had was the Reebok thing and this thing, and then I'm like almost afraid to spend anything else. So
question.
That's where I'm at.
Question. Watch. Check this out. Ready?
Okay.
Hit me. Let's say, hypothetically, right? And again, if it happens, I want you to be prepared and strong.
Okay.
Let's say for whatever reason, Kevin goes, oh, Meg, I can't trust you with the money again. Right? Let's say you made a mistake. And then he's like, oh, I can't trust it. We got to do separately and all that stuff. Where would you revert back to? What would you say?
What would I say?
What would you think about yourself?
Well, if I made a mistake, what's my mistake?
Let's say it was a big purchase.
Okay, and I bought it without consulting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I bought a car without consulting. And then he's like, what the hell? And I'm like, well, I think I would do, well, it just sounds so totally out of character. What would I do?
Or just that feeling of like the mistrust in yourself again. I want to get you to that state.
The mistrust in myself.
Like,
okay.
Because right now he's supporting you and you feel that support from him and there's trust from him.
Yes.
I want to know what you would think right now. If he all of a sudden says, I don't support you, or you're not getting support from him and you're not getting trust anymore from him. It's just you.
It would just be me?
If it's just you, then how would you feel and how would you think about money and yourself?
Well, I think I would just handle it. I was like, okay, well, if you don't want to trust me with it, like I'm just going to do my thing. I'm just going to continue to make money the way that I know how.
Yeah.
You know, I would have to have the conversation with him and be like, well, okay, so if you don't want to trust me, but we know I'm working in your company, so okay, you want to draw the line, like draw the line. But then I think that would inevitably, like, I would inevitably walk away from the relationship.
Okay.
I was like, if you don't trust me, then what else do you not trust me in? Like, money's just one thing. It's not even a big thing. That's not the big thing. The big thing is, like, if you can't trust me here, that means you're not trusting me in other places. That seems like hypocritical. So I would just like walk. I would first be like, try to understand it for sure and be like, well, why? Okay, I spent on a car. Like, well, okay, that seems a little unreasonable. So maybe there's a problem in there that was reasonable. And then he goes, okay, so yeah, if you can't trust me, there's a reason why. Let's address it. And then if we can't land on the same page, then we separate. That's it.
Because, okay, for example, bells and laces. When you did get the money, you were making revenue.
Yeah.
Where was that money, if you don't mind sharing? Like, where was the money going?
To bills and maintenance and just costs that I could afford. And it was never enough to, like, it was never enough to give me like a lot of savings, just enough to kind of like get by, basically paycheck to paycheck. So I would be in charge of certain bills of the house, maintenance of the car, insurance of our car, like our runner, basically the one that goes everywhere, things like that, groceries, whatever I could fit into my budget and afford, I would do. So he obviously had more allowance to do stuff with.
Yeah.
But occasionally spending on gifts. For me, if it wasn't house related or business related, then I would spend on gifts for other people and then some on myself. And the some on myself is like scotch or what else? Like plants.
Yeah.
I like plants, you know, things for the home, basically. And
Things
like for me to be at home.
Yeah.
So,
and again, if that's what you value, then that's all the power to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not here trying to make you go, ooh, okay, like I'm gonna buy a Gucci for myself. You know, it's not that.
No,
that's not.
Well, I don't value it. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the thing. It's just like your own self-worth.
Yeah.
Like you work hard.
Yeah.
You work super smart. KLV wouldn't be where it is today without your help.
Thank you, Tony.
Like really, it wouldn't, because you help. It's a partnership, right? And everything else, like the whole coaching and the marketing and everything, your value is there. Looking out, looking in, you know. But for you, because this matters, Meg. Like this matters. Like if you feel and believe that you're not worth more than $100 for yourself, how's that going to affect, let's say Super Jewelry Co. blows up, right? Are you still going to have that $100 budget for yourself? And you're going to spend everything else on what? Other things and other people. I want to get you to the point where it's like, wait, yeah, I made a mistake, but I'm going to tell myself now, I do deserve money. I do believe in my own self-worth and self-value. Because that's going to attract more money to you, because now your self-worth, your self-value, your self-talk is improving. So it's like backwards, people think, oh, I'm not getting the money, I need to work harder, or stuff like that. But I truly believe that it starts within your core. Like, do you even believe you should even have money? Let's say $100,000 is in your lap, is in your bank account. How long will it stay there? Does that $100,000 make you uncomfortable? You see? Because you couldn't save.
Yeah.
Like, you will be able to save, but you got to be able to like believe that you're worth it to be able to like keep building money for yourself. Because you don't have to spend, but at the same time, you should be able to grow it at the level that you are now.
Right. That's what I think. I would like to think, right? So if I had that I would like to grow it, invest it, because I have good teachers around me.
You do.
And good models.
You do.
And for whatever reason, like putting this limitation of $100 or something like that isn't in terms to me. When I said that, it was like, I want to prove to my husband before, like, dude, I only spend $100 on myself. Like, trust, I'm not going to spend frivolously. That was the thought in my mind when we had the conversation of like, oh, I have trust issues. This is why I didn't share this with you. And then in order to appease and show, hey, you can trust me. I'm not spending crazy. Like, what do I spend? Like, look around. Like,
but
most
see, that a lot of it is like you, Kevin, or you, mom, you, dad, can trust me, right? But do you trust yourself with the money? Again, $100,000, boom, in your bank account.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it? Do you trust yourself to keep it or to grow it? You feel me?
Yes.
Because this is important, Meg. This is really important. Like, your self-value needs to match this money. It's a tool, yes. But it's a fantastic tool, especially in this freaking world,
Yeah.
You can do a lot with $100K.
Yes.
But like, look at these freaking broke-ass people that win $1 billion, right? You should be able to live off the rest of your life and have your kids.
But they don't know.
But what is their mindset?
Right.
Whoa.
Did you spend
$1 billion?
Yeah.
And what? Their self-value is not even in par with that $1 billion. Look at Donald Trump. Look at anybody else, right? That doesn't have a lot to work with, but they make it, boom, grow, multiply over a year, over 2 years, over 3 years. It has to be their mind. It can't be just, oh, I got money and, because there are plenty of rich ass Chinese kids or whoever kids that have rich ass parents.
Yeah.
But they don't know shit. They don't have their mindset clear on this money thing. But it's themselves. Because again, they're insecure, right? Their parents aren't home. Like, where are they getting their value from? They think that it's supreme. They think it's all these Gucci. They think it's all these clothes and everything else, like shoes and stuff, whatever, right? But it's never enough.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to ask, like, is it their mind? I think it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what I want to unlock for you, Meg. Like, your mind. You need to let go of the mistake that you made. You are in control of that.
Yeah.
And that's a good feeling. The fact that you're in control of that. Because as you're in control of that, you are in control of the money that's going to come in, because your self-worth and your self-value is going to get better and better and better.
I do feel that it is getting better and better and better. And the way that I even talk to clients via email is less needy, I think. I always recognize it in his writing, right? But I have to self-edit mine. Yeah. So like I will sometimes be giving away too much, you know? Yeah. And trying to always think like, oh, they want a deal. The same way that he thinks the client wants a deal, but it's like, they're already getting a deal. You don't need to move the number. And I would think kind of the same way, moving the number down. But I'm like, whoa, why am I doing that shit? You know?
Why are you making yourself go down?
Down and down and down. And I'm like,
other people.
There's no reason to move this number. Yeah. There's no like, you just make it up in more service, right? There's no reason to discount. Yeah. And finally, I think like, and this is very recent, like I checked my credit score very recently, and I was like, oh, cool. It's not 6 something or whatever it used to be. And then the conversations that we're having in the car, like trying to recognize it in myself and the same patterns that I used to execute. And yeah, the whole like purchasing and buying for myself, I don't think I've really unlocked that yet. I think I'm taking baby steps.
You are
in terms of like with this Gundam right here, right? There's a Gundam right here.
It's made.
Like I would never think like to spend even the extra of the glue and the paint. But like I was just like, no, I want it because it's gonna look dope. But I would never do that before for some reason. Like I didn't even look at the price. I was just like, I know it's not crazy, so like why do I need to look? Like that. Or like just kind of trusting that what's in my bank, because I know that I've been a responsible spender. So I should always have enough for what I want to do. And that's how I've been feeling like very recently in these last couple of days. And that's just because of the conversations we've been having like 2 days ago. So it's interesting.
What's crazy though, Meg? I think this is happening because look, who you were, when do we start? Like 2-3 weeks ago, right? Who you were 3 weeks ago. What were you even saying to yourself that was good for yourself? Probably nothing, right?
Nothing. Just like, this is the way it is.
This is the way it is.
Yeah.
You're just living your life.
I'm just in it.
Predestiny, right? And Kevin was too. But now the fact that you guys are shifting, you guys are taking control of yourselves and feeding your brains, feeding your minds, positive things.
And we're doing this work.
Progress.
Yes.
Yeah,
this work.
Especially this.
This is very important work.
This is like, it's mental exercise. It's mental, like good things for your mind.
Yeah.
Right? So I think this whole shift from bells and laces to KLV, that in itself is like your self-value, your self-worth had to have gone up.
Yes.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be comfortable enough, open enough to even make that happen.
Right.
Right? Because that's yours. But now you're like, nope, never again, Kevin. I won't let you do that, like not pay me anymore kind of thing, right? But did you say that before? Did you even feel like you could say that before?
I just thought that's what was expected of me. Just like in my previous relationship. Oh, I'm here. I can help. And and that was a weird, like you delude yourself sometimes. I think especially as a young girl, and this is something I wanted to talk about, where it's like we didn't have the practice. Like when you're a young girl, especially if you're Asian, you're not allowed to date until you're 30 kind of attitude in the house, right?
Lock and key,
Right. And I'm like, well, that's why I feel like that's one big reason why I was so naive, is because one, you don't know how a man is supposed to treat you. You don't recognize the difference between a boy and a man. Who's teaching you that? No one. You just find out after you got burned.
And some never do until they're dead. Not even.
Some never do. That's a sad thing. Yeah, some never do. Some never realize or stand up or say, don't hit me or whatever. Like some women just like, it's so sad. And it's like, who's going to learn all this stuff? Who's going to teach you? So you're just really naive and limited when you're young, and you don't learn these things until your 30s. Blessed. I learned in my 30s. Cool. Thank you. But yeah, you're just very naive when you're growing up, when you're a young girl. And you don't know. You don't know the difference. How are they supposed to treat you? Like, there's so many times when, here's one thing, like, when I was growing up and starting to be like, you know, going out when I'm a teenager and stuff like that, guys would just slap my butt.
Oh.
They would just slap it.
Yeah.
And I didn't say shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like in a bar or whatever, right? And if you're in a bar, or if you're even in high school, right? Even in high school, or even when probably like in 7th grade, 6th grade, when people are starting to wear tighter clothing, you know, like that was in style, like just slap my butt or like touch you, right? Like all kinds of things. Like you don't say anything because nobody's telling you that that's, you feel weird, but you don't say anything because you don't have the language. You don't have the anything. You don't have any tools. You're just like, I'm here. So I think it's really important that's something that we keep bringing awareness to, just as women. Like, it's like, dude, I didn't know how to say the words or like how to even classify my thoughts. Like, well, this thought needs attention. Like, this is a red flag. Like, nobody's teaching you. That's so crazy. That's something we should be learning in school. Like, that's,
school ain't gonna teach us this shit.
It's so sad. But like, when I think about it, it's like, it's fine now. Yeah. But you learn it so late. I think it's kind of late, especially for young women. And same thing with young men, young boys. Like,
but even
boundaries, you know,
they don't even learn
self-worth. That you should be like, you should love yourself at a very, very young age. That's like the number one thing that you should be learning.
Yeah.
What does it mean to value yourself and not just let anybody touch you or talk to you or whatever at you? Like, have the language and
don't just take it.
Don't just take it. I feel like, you know, especially when you're young, you just take all this stuff. Take it. Okay. And then that's your teacher. And then one day you're like, what?
You blow up. And
you blow up, or, you know, all that stuff. So I think that's super important. But yeah, that's self-worth. It needs to be addressed, like, no matter how old you are. And I think that's a great thing that you brought that up today. What is the difference?
And that's why, like, your self-value, your self-worth, your self-respect and self-love is gonna increase every day. Even if it's by 0.5%, 1%. It's gonna get better. Even from this talk alone, I know that you're gonna start thinking different about money, and that about trusting yourself with money, believing in yourself with money, and just knowing that, damn, I'm worth more than $100 for myself. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that breaks my heart to hear you say that. 'Cause you're way, come on. How are you going to invest $100? And, you know, you could, but even right now, you just choose to spend it on other things. But you want to invest. You have mentors ready and willing to, bam, man, let's make this $100, $1,000 grow into 10K.
Yeah.
And boom, boom, boom. You have mentors for that.
Yes.
But are you ready for that? That's where you're going to be like, not yet.
I will be.
But you will literally be.
I will be.
Ready.
Yeah. I'm recognizing it.
I think that's where your value lies. Clothes are dope. Like, I'm not going to lie. Look, I'm an Adidas fan too. But
yeah,
what you really value. And it's like where you can really grow.
Right.
And you said it so yourself, not me. You said investing.
I think that's interesting, because I think that's why when I bought it, I was just like, cool, I bought it. But I didn't feel anything too much. I was excited, like, cool, I'm going to get new shoes. But I know that feeling is fleeting. Like, I know it already when I'm buying it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Before, sorry, I know time is sensitive, but I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
Why did you even bring up investing?
Oh, because I know that's what I want to do. I have a mentor. You know what I mean? I have my other mentor.
What is it about investing that just makes you want to do it?
Well, for one, it looks very fun. Like now money, I know, becomes not this thing where it's like, oh, money, but it's more like a game. Like, cool, how can I make it grow.
Yeah.
Like, that's very interesting to me.
Huh.
It's just I feel like I would always come back to the limiting belief, like, I don't have the money to invest. I know I want to get there, but I'm in a place before, now we're getting to a better place, where I was in a place before where it was like, I didn't put myself in the position to invest. Right? And so that wall that was between us, separating ourselves, which was fine. Like, it's fine because it's me coming into maturity and learning to trust myself with money, going through all that stuff. You know, like, it's like, yeah, I went through that. Okay, learned my lesson there emotionally and just common sense. And then the next one is like learning what it means to be an entrepreneur. What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? Okay, if making money is easy, what does that mean? Okay, so we've learned that lesson throughout the past 10 years. What does it mean to be an entrepreneur? To live and breathe that, being comfortable in being not comfortable. Cool, learn that. Next one is, what does it mean to create a team and be a part of a team and run your own business? Cool, I think we've learned that. We still have a lot to learn, but I think we've you know, we're learning. And we're picking up the basic steps. Now we're kind of like here, where it's like, I'm mature enough and woman enough to be a part of this company completely. And at the same time, you are too. Cool. We're on the same page. Now we're eliminating these crutches. I feel like Bells was a crutch. A place of experimentation for me to learn what does it mean to be a leader and not a boss. That was a very good lesson. And then what does it mean to see the pattern of business that has been the way it is, like, that's the way it is, and then flip it, tweak it, and be like, no, I want to make it better. And now letting go of the ego and be like, I don't want to make it better just because I want to be on top and compete. Is like, I want to make it better for us. So now we come together. So all this time learning all these lessons, like, I think it's like, I always say this to Kevin, is like, all in good time. It's all in our good time. Like, you can't have everything tomorrow. You can't handle it. You know? You won't appreciate it. You can't handle it. Like all these lottery winners, right? It's
God bless their soul.
Yeah, God bless. But like, yeah, there's a reason why I didn't get that, what I wanted, or maybe even what I needed right away. I didn't get what I needed right away. So I have to learn. I have to mature. I have to go at my pace. And the same thing with life. It's just, you know, it's presenting you with the challenge. Okay, you've got a pretty good handle. Okay, here's another one. Okay, cool. But because of the lessons that I learned and I'm climbing this ladder, like, I can handle it. I can take it. So I feel that happening. It's very interesting. Like, we don't script this show, but because I've been on that track of like, I want to invest, right? And then you bring this up, and you bring in me, and you observe in me the issues about money with me and my parents, right? Like, you're like, what did I do? Let's go back here, and then like having that gift and that, you know, switch of direction and attention, right, to that point. And I go, oh, okay, cool. It wasn't just me, because I would think it, but you were able to like, nah, let's see what's going on here. And then I'm like, cool. So I feel like I'm on the right track. I didn't know what to do with my thoughts, right? I just told you. I was like, I don't know what to do with these thoughts. I'm gonna just put them here. And then maybe somebody will help me with it, right? That's exactly how I felt with this purchase. And I was like, I don't know why I feel this way now. Usually I'd be like, yay, new thing, B. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, I bought this, and like, I feel not the way I want to feel, or whatever. Like, I just had weird feelings. So I was like, I'm gonna just put it away and then address it later. But now I recognize it with your help. So that's cool.
And it's going to be cool to see you start investing. Like, even if it's $1,000 of your own money that you can actually put into something that will grow. Because let's be real, like these things ain't gonna grow. You just spend and that's it.
That's it.
Momentary pleasure and just necessity, right?
Yeah.
But that whole investing feel is a whole nother level.
Right.
Like completely. And I believe in your life, you have all the people you need to help you multiply your money.
Yes, I truly believe that too.
I just think that you needed to be ready.
Yes.
Trust that. Trust yourself first. That you can grow your money.
Yeah.
That you are worth growing your money to a whole nother level that you never even thought possible until today.
Yes.
So it's like that.
It's very exciting.
It is exciting. It should be exciting. This is life-changing, Meg.
It is pretty crazy.
I love the fact that you're doing Gundam. This is all you. But there's also another deeper side of you.
Yeah.
That's been wanting to just grow. And that obviously that's going to help everyone, but it's going to help your desire, your want, your need.
Yeah.
To fulfill that.
Yes.
I think.
It's pretty cool. And it's weird because the last time I talked to you, I was on top of the world. And then a bunch of shit happened, right?
That's fine.
And then you think in that moment in time, you're like, this is everything. I'm woke, right? That's the word. I'm woke now. And then a whole mess of shit's going to happen because like I said, life is going to be your mirror, right? Yeah. So the challenge that I'm welcoming after today because of these little breakthroughs is going to match my new found level of wokeness. And then boom, another one. And then boom, another one, right?
Better and better.
Better and better. And then the time that it takes me to get to these levels decreases.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because to do the work that we've done together over the past couple of days, amazing, like shrinking of time and accelerating the level of wokeness between us and the love between us versus over this 10-year span, right? Like numbers are just numbers, but it's amazing to see how much you can do when you're in line, you know? And even little things too. Like I was sitting down right here, I was playing games, and then he asked me a certain question and he was like, what do you think we can do to make 8,000K look worth it or something like that? And I was like, I think that's the wrong question.
Yeah.
And so like right away, we're learning to accelerate like our wokeness, like our progress, our tools are being utilized quicker together, not just alone. Like there's that feeling where you feel like you're the one being woke and the other person's unconscious. Like I feel like we're both conscious now. Oh, yes. Yes. So that's amazing. And I said, I think that's the wrong question. I think it's what you're trying to ask me is, if we're 8K, are you asking me how do we present that to the client or something like that? I forget. And he's like, oh, yeah. Because I'm like, if you're trying to hint around the question, or if I hint around something and I'm not being direct with you, it's a waste of time. Honestly, like you're wasting my time with my video game right now that I've scheduled out time for so I can relax. Like this is my time, and you're wasting time hinting around. Like you can be honest with me with what you want to do, with your ultimate goal of what you want to do. So lead with that. And then giving confidence to my husband. You can lead with that. You can lead me. You can tell me. You can tell me straight up what you want to do. It's okay. You don't need to hint. I feel like before when he would hint around things, it's because he want to ask in a nice way. Yeah. But it's really not. It's saving your ego, so that maybe you feel that you don't come off bad. Yeah. Or like a boss. Yeah. But in fact, you're skirting around the issue. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to me to be like, no, you be confident. Tell me what you want to do. You know, tell me what you want to do and we can do it. Whatever it is, like we can do it. Yeah. I just said like that. And I was like, ooh, cool. I just said mentally, this is the pattern interrupt. These are the ways that we're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, is because when we do this stuff, when we do this work, instead of me being irritated that I'm getting this kind of question, skirting around the question when you should just ask me, and standing up and saying, no, it's okay, you can ask me, you know, and then him feeling confident, like, oh, cool, I can just ask you, you know, and not waste time. And all of that, I thought that in a split second that I just explained to you, I was like, dope, that's cool. And I look forward to more moments like that, or the where it's like, it's super just natural now. You tell me what you want, I tell you it's possible, we just do it. Yeah. So that was yesterday. I think that was yesterday. I think. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Meg.
Yeah.
Today's self-affirmation.
Yeah.
And that not only for today, but adding on to what you're already telling yourself. I'm going to do it for my own relationship and my own self-worth too.
Okay.
Because I believe I struggled with that in the past, and I don't want to be hypocritical.
Yeah, right,
I want to match that level too.
Yeah.
So for me, my affirmation is going to be about self-value, self-worth, and the whole relationship with money. What about you?
Okay. So mine, I still love the one that you communicated the first, which was the every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better, has been so powerful.
Just that one, right?
Just that one, because, and I wanted to make note of this, why that is so powerful, that it's not specific. And I just let it kind of felt more free also.
Yeah.
Like better and better and better. Everything. Just let everything be better and better and better. And it felt freeing. It felt liberating to say it that way. I was saying it right here, washing the dishes or going up the stairs or something. And in the moment, I let whatever focus come to me.
Yeah.
Like up the stairs, it's the knee.
Yeah.
It's the knee, right? Or the back. And then washing the dishes is like the wife part. Yeah. And then when I'm working out, it's the back and the knee and stuff like that. So I just let it come to me. Yeah. The focus that I want to put. And then it's nice because I just say it throughout the day and let things come to me that way. And it's been very liberating. And I really love that. The way. Say it. Yeah. So every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better.
Nice. No, that's what I started with, and that's what got me here today.
It's cool.
And so I think that's why every area in your life is getting better and better and better. So yeah, I want to leave with that too. Okay. You know, every day in every way, I am getting better and better and better. You know, and also every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better at being a man whose self-worth, self-value, and his relationship with money is getting better and better and better. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Tony, can I just say, you're much calmer.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're more centered. You're a lot more peaceful, I feel. The energy that comes off of you is more conscious, is a lot more thoughtful and sensitive.
Thanks.
You've always been sensitive, but like, not sensitive like, but like sensitive like you feel the room. You pay attention to the things. And I think it's really important to make note of it, because there's so often, like when I was in my chiropractor's office, I was so thankful that she noticed and that she decided to go there with me, because I was super emotional in the chiropractor's office. But so I want to thank you for that and make note of that. And I want to try to do that too, where when I feel something and I become sensitive to something about somebody, and if I care about that person, I want to be able to, for me to make the first move, because often the first move has to be made with me, and be like, let's talk about, or something, like be able to make the first move and approach that person. So that's like a little self lesson for me, like that practice that I want to do too.
And you'll get better at it.
Yeah. So thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Meg.
My name is Tony.
And you've been listening and watching The Golden Rule. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Sweat. Sweat.